And it's President Yoon's last chance to prove the legitimacy of declaring martial law. How will he make the most of the very final hearing? Let us discuss more with a legal expert, JoungWHwang. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So how critical is the final hearing of Yoon's impeachment trial, especially for the court to consider and deliver its ruling?
In most cases, I'll say it's a very important time for both sides to present their best arguments forward in order to put a bow in their overall case. At this point, however, given kind of the shenanigans we have seen from President Yoon's legal team, I wonder if you're just going through the motion. There is a great speculation, at least part of the ruling party, whether President Yoon will strike a very conciliatory tone, maybe even apologize to the Korean people. He has not done that throughout the whole 10 hearings we have so far. So I'll be surprised if he actually strikes that tone. And I think it's actually a reflection of the hopes of the part of ruling party's lawmakers more than anything else. But we'll have to see today.
Right, it's hard to predict until he really speaks up for himself. Now, the Constitutional Court plans not to impose any time limit on President Yoon's final statement. Why is there no time limit? And also, how long do you think it'll take for him to deliver his final words?
Well, the Constitutional Court would like to show that it is even-handed as much as possible. As you know, from both the ruling party lawmakers as well as the right-wing rallies that have been taking place in Seoul in recent days, there have been a great deal of, accusations of, being lack of impartiality and, various accusatory conspiracy theories leveled against Constitutional Court and various justices of the Constitutional Court. So at least to maximize the appearance of fairness and impartiality, I think the Constitutional Court is giving as much leeway to the president's side as possible. At the same time, and also President Yoon likes to talk, so I think we can expect him to talk maybe up to an hour, perhaps. But at the same time, given all the kind of unbelievable legal arguments and factual assertions that President Yoon's legal team has made so far, I wonder what kind of compelling case he can make. I mean, the lawmakers of the ruling party has hoped that he might actually strike a conciliatory tone. But as I said, given his track record, I think that is very unlikely.
Well, like you mentioned, it's hard to predict what he will say at the final hearing, but maybe an apology to the South Korean people. Would you say there will be a message to the South Korean people?
I mean, if President Yoon really tries to want to put South Korea back together, give a more unified message, saying that it is all my fault and sort of but what he has done so far in the 10 past hearings is anything but that. He's been very divisive. He's been putting out statements ever since he was in jail, sort of rallying his far-right supporters. And throughout the hearings, we've seen him just blaming all his subordinates, saying that it's not my fault, it's all my subordinates who are basically following the wrong directions and so forth. So given that track record, I wonder if he can really strike a conciliatory tone after all. If anything, he might actually be more divisive than ever.
Well, the impeachment trial is finally wrapping up, but still, Justice nominee Ma Eun-hyeok is yet to be appointed. Would you say we should assume the verdict will come from an 8-member panel of justices?
I believe so. I think Justice Ma issue is kind of moot at this point, and also, if you recall, President Park Geun-hye's impeachment case, that was also decided by 8 justice, not 9 justice panel. So right. I think the current 8 justice panel is perfectly capable of rendering a judgment.
Well, before I let you go, let's say the court deliberates that Yoon should be removed from office for declaring martial law back in December. Now, do you think he'll accept the verdict eventually?
Well, that's, it also depends on what your definition of acceptance is. I mean, by Constitution, there is no way to appeal the Constitutional Court's decision, so it's not really his choice to accept or not. On the other hand, will he continue to rally and kind of, spread conspiracy theories among his supporters? We'll have to see it, but that has been his pattern until now.
Alrighty, thank you so much, as always, for sharing your insight with us. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.